We've got the details on camo cars, the black and white mystery vehicles you've seen all over town. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, Film on the Rocks just announced its 2018 schedule for summer movies at Red Rocks, with new releases like Black Panther and The Last Jedi, plus cult classics like The Goonies and The Big Lebowski. Film on the Rocks opens May 15th with The Last Jedi. Tickets are $15 per event, and every night features live music and comedians until sundown when the movie begins. See the full schedule at denverfilm.org. There's snow on the horizon this weekend, and April is officially the snowiest month of the season. Breckenridge hit 59 inches of snow this month, nearly a foot better than the next best month of January, and 30 inches more than average. How did we get so lucky so late in the season? Joel Gratz with OpenSnow.com.
We could dig into every little piece of the atmosphere, but for the most part, we just got a lucky combination of moisture and storm energy.
Until now, Gratz says storms were staying a few hundred miles north of Colorado, leading to an incredible 720 inches at Mount Baker in Washington. Breck closes this weekend with 264 inches, barely a third of Baker's total.
The rest of the winter, the storm track was not far to our north, but it generally stayed to our north, up in Montana and Wyoming and Idaho and Washington State.
But now it's Colorado's turn. Gratz predicts at least 6 inches this weekend and over a foot at Breck if we're lucky. But that's a big if.
The storm is not setting up perfectly as it's weakening as it moves across Colorado, but most mountains should get at least 6 or 8 inches of snow, and if a few things come together well, we'll see a foot plus.
Will Mayuary bring more of the same? Gratz says it's too early to tell, but believes this weekend's storm is likely the last big one for April. You've seen them zooming up and down Loveland Pass and all across Summit County this week. Cars covered in black and white body wraps. You could be driving by one right now. But what's their story? Krystal 93 talked with one of the drivers earlier this morning. He declined to be named, but said the cars are prototypes from Chrysler, Ford, Chevrolet, and even Land Rover. There are dozens in Summit this week, and the drivers are all engineers. They do get paid, but spend most of their time checking computer readouts from the engine, which show how the vehicle performs at altitude and in extreme weather. Those black and white wraps seem official, but test cars aren't required to register with CDOT or State Patrol. Engineers just need a driver's license. For 10 years, the Autobargo family has been trying to redevelop land where Adriano's restaurant now sits, and Danilo Autobargo believes they've finally found the right project.
We've really wanted to see something to bolster the town of Dillon, to really bring people into the town of Dillon.
The Uptown 240 project, before now known as Dillon Gateway, has been through several versions, including a larger development in tandem with nearby properties. Those partnerships are now gone, and the latest plans call for 80 market rate units on 4 floors, plus parking and a new restaurant.
We have a fairly difficult piece of property. It slopes quite a bit from one corner to the next. And so what we've done is taken that slope and used it to have 2 levels of parking, one that's fully underground and then one that is partially underground that also holds the restaurant space.
Plans also call for several affordable units built as micro condos, like a similar development at Base Camp in Frisco.
They're priced for somebody who can come in and they'd like to grow some equity for themselves or with their wife or their kids. They could do that with these units. They could buy the unit at a fairly low rate and then enjoy the escalation in the market.
Autobargo says Uptown 240 is a family affair. He and his siblings still work at Adriano's and will be sad to see it go.
It's bittersweet. You know, the property and the building has a lot of memories and a lot of history for not just this family, but for a lot of people around the community.
The Autobargos and developers are looking for funding now. The project will cost several million, and construction could begin as early as July. In sports, the Rockies and Avalanche both have the night off, and all Summit High sports teams are enjoying spring break for a few more days until play begins again next Tuesday. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.